Yo, what's good, guys? So, Sneako and Moistcritikal have gotten in some beef recently, if you could even call it that. It's really nothing too serious, just Sneako reacting to a video that Charlie made, and then Charlie responds to it without really even addressing the points that Sneako made during his entire reaction video. Okay, so first off, in Charlie's original video, I don't know why Charlie puts the part where he's just shitting on Sneako for defending cuties 2 years ago. He spends half the video talking about this, when it's not really even relevant to what Sneako was calling him out for at all. Like, you're trying to box shadows that aren't even there. Sneako never even mentioned cuties at all when he was calling you out. And yet you spend half the video giving the whole backstory of your first impression of Sneako. Like, why? Charlie even calls out Sneako for fighting ghosts in his own video, and yet he's doing the same exact thing by bringing up Sneako defending cuties 2 years ago. Kinda weird, not gonna lie. And Charlie's title of the video is I didn't want to talk about this, but in the video, Charlie didn't even talk about anything at all. His whole video is just shitting on Sneako for watching his girl get fucked in front of him a few times, and the rest is just him rehashing his first interaction with Sneako. If you actually watched the Sneako reaction video, he was doing so good and made some valid points up until the part where he started to randomly insult Charlie's girlfriend.
I'm not gonna say names. Someone texted. He's in a monogamous relationship. This is his girl.
Up until that point, Sneako was doing great because Charlie just didn't know what he was talking about. But yeah, Sneako randomly making fun of Charlie's girlfriend is going to overshadow everything. Most people are just honing in on Sneako making fun of Charlie's girlfriend and are just going to disregard every other valid point that Sneako was making. But Charlie's two main arguments are, one, that Sneako was defending cuties and because of that, he no longer cares what Sneako has to say, and two, Sneako is a cuck.
This was my first real exposure to Sneako, and it's also the reason I don't care what his opinion is of me, because it's coming from a man who likes cuties. So why the fuck would it matter if he thinks I'm a bitch or anything like that? Couldn't help but take notice of one of his more recent viral clips where he openly defends getting cucked.
Those are his 1-2 punch combo, if you could say. I don't really see the angle that Charlie is trying to play here. Maybe he's just firing back at Sneako because he made fun of his girlfriend, but other than that, I think it's honestly a really poor response video to Sneako. It feels like Charlie is just using the time when Sneako got cucked as the ultimate trump card. Like, oh, haha, you're a cuck and you watch cuties, so I'm going to make fun of that instead of really engaging with what you said. And that's basically just the entire argument. You're a cuck. And in the video where Sneako talks about his cuck experience, I don't necessarily think Sneako was even trying to make it seem like he was okay with it. He even said he got up and left during the entire interaction, and he was just sharing his experience. I don't think Sneako will ever be able to live that moment down. Like, why would you ever say any of that out loud on the internet? You know everyone is going to clown on you, dude. Personally, I don't really care. What he enjoys doing in his own time and his personal time is up to him. If he likes getting cucked, by all means, go for it. But I will say that Sneako did attack Charlie's girlfriend first, so now I think everything's fair game. Both sides made somewhat decent points, but it all just got so convoluted and overshadowed by retarded comments that aren't even really relevant at all. And don't get me wrong, it might seem like I'm pro Sneako, but I'm really just in the middle. There are a couple of things you can critique regarding the video that Fresh made, which started off this whole beef in the first place, but it's also kind of stupid for Charlie to just talk way out of his element. Sneako even calls Charlie out for calling Fresh a virgin, which is like an insult that a 14-year-old kid would say, and I have to agree with him. These guys have 1 million subs, and they live in Miami. There's no way this guy's a virgin. Charlie's making a mistake by even saying that Fresh is a virgin in the first place. But at the same time, I also don't blame Charlie for being skeptical about the whole thing. If I heard the story at face value without knowing any of the Fresh and Fit guys and didn't know what they did, I would also think that they were lying about the story as well. Because on average, how many NBA players does the average person meet? Like 0, right? But yeah, back to the video that Fresh made. Yes, it is cringe how Fresh tries to brag that he banged 3 girls in the same day, but he didn't really do any of that work. It was his NBA player friend that just alley-ooped them to him, and it wasn't of his own effort. It's different when you, by yourself, get 3 girls versus your friend just bringing you 3 girls and then you bang all of them because they're groupies. I wouldn't be bragging about that. Like, is it a W that he still banged 3 chicks in the same day? Yeah, sure. But I wouldn't go off bragging about it on YouTube and then telling people this is how you can pull girls easily and selling it as such when you didn't do the majority of the pulling. It was your friend, not you. Also, Charlie calls the Fresh and Fit podcast the most laughed at podcast on the internet, but stats don't lie. Sure, you can say that the Fresh and Fit podcast is the most laughed at podcast on the internet, but at the end of the day, they're averaging between 10 to 20k viewers each time they go live. Sure, they may be laughed at by your side of the internet, but they're still pulling in huge numbers. So obviously, they do have a big audience and a fan base. They have 1 million subscribers on their YouTube channel. Just because your side of the internet laughs at them, it doesn't mean that all sides does. And also, last statement regarding the Fresh video, the story was actually real. They even called the NBA player for their 1 million subscriber special, and it turns out the basketball player is actually in the G League, just not in the actual NBA. I don't know if people watched that video and got the impression that Fresh was talking to James Harden during that interaction or something, but yeah, the story was confirmed real. They even call the guy up, and he basically tells the same story. That wraps it up for this video. Let me know your thoughts down in the comments. Leave a like if you enjoyed, and leave a dislike if you didn't. Also, subscribe to the channel if you want to be notified whenever I upload a new video. And as always, guys, thank you all for watching. Peace.